Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel Brown here. Hope everybody's having a good Friday night. I had really nothing else going on tonight, so I decided why not hop on camera and talk. It's been a long time since I've done that, so this should be fun. I wanted to talk about something that happened a couple of weeks ago regarding a falling out that I had with a friend of mine who I thought was a good friend, and I'll get into it. But basically, I want to hop on here. I made a post on Facebook a few weeks ago talking about how it was pretty serious to me, and I thought it warranted a response video. So here we go. I'm going to try to keep it short, simple, to the point. I'm not trying to have a debate with anybody about what I'm going to discuss, so please save it. I'm open to criticism, respectful opinions, but just let's try to keep it, civil. Um, so with that being said, I'll get right into it. Before I get into it, though, I did want to say it's been a fantastic 2 weeks recently. 2 weeks ago, I did my first 5K in Lake Mary for Unified Cerebral Palsy, which was awesome. Um, and then I also last weekend for Halloween I was Thomas Bangalter from Daft Punk, which was awesome. I actually have the helmet right here. It was really sick. I entered the Kissimmee Halloween costume contest on Saturday, which was awesome. For those of you that didn't see my post from last weekend, go check them out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. By far the highlight, though, aside from all the pictures and notoriety I got from the people there, because there were hundreds of people. At one point, when the live band was playing, the audience was cheering me on to go up there, and I went ahead and did a little dance routine, which was really cool. So that was sick. It's on my page if you go look at that. So I don't think you'll be disappointed. Like I said, got a lot of positive feedback on that, which is awesome. So fantastic past couple of weeks. With that being said, I want to go back to the 5K. So with the 5K, what ended up happening was I was feeling really good that day. It was my first 5K. I wanted to reward myself. So this is where it all starts. So a couple weeks ago, the same day that I posted the 5K, I made a post, and the post reads as follows. I put, "Oh my fucking God, I'm normally not a fan of quote unquote cheat days or I earned this mentality, but I'm not doing that today. After nearly 2 months of clean eating, working out 5 days a week, and finishing my first 5K, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm disciplined enough to work this off." To me, it was a harmless post. I was rewarding myself for my hard work. I've been doing this diet. I don't even want to call it a diet at this point because it's been about 10, 11 months now. I started in January and I'm down 80 pounds, which, by the way, we're so close to the 100-pound milestone, and I'm hoping to achieve that before the new year. So fingers crossed. If we don't get it though, no worries. I know if I don't get it this year, I'll get it next year. So I'm locked in. So, anyways, harmless post, right? At least to me it was, and I think most people would agree. However, I had one friend who commented, and this is a person that I know online. We've been friends for about a year, 2 years now. Probably think about 2 years, and we've talked a lot. We've always been pretty cordial. We've had political discussions with each other. We've talked about them wanting to about their art. We've shared each other's art with one another, which is awesome. Somebody who I actually liked a lot, and I thought they liked me too. But I guess I hit a nerve with this post because they ended up commenting saying this. Now, I did block their name out because I don't want to put them on blast or anything. So I'll try to be respectful and cordial here. So in the comment, they put, "You don't need to quote unquote work off a meal. It's not a cheat meal, it's a meal. It has carbs, fats, protein. It's a complete meal." This is true. I think we're coming at it from different mindsets, which is fine. But and at the moment, it pissed me off, and the reason why it pissed me off was because this isn't the first time that she's had something to say about what I'm doing this year. It seems like whenever she chimes in with her thoughts, it's always something negative. I never hear anything positive coming from her. So it rubbed me the wrong way. So I probably shouldn't have crashed out this way, but I basically said, "Please shut the fuck up." And I was mad. I mean, I was not in the good. I was in such a good mood running the 5K, having the pizza. Like it was awesome. And it just felt like such a buzzkill, you know. And I don't like that. I don't like people who only chime in when they have something negative to say. That's always rubbed me the wrong way. So they said no, and they responded again a minute later saying, "The fact that you react this way is exactly why the way you talk about how you eat isn't healthy. Eat pizza without being a jerk about it." So I guess I was being a jerk for my words, for trying to reward myself. Again, I did tell her to shut the fuck up. I shouldn't have said that, but again, I was just done with her. So, but other than, but she wasn't calling me a jerk for that. I think she was calling me a jerk because of my verbiage in the post where I said like, work this off, cheat day and stuff like that. So, that's probably what she was referring to. So I ended up messaging her because I was really upset, and I messaged her and I said, 99% of the shit you say on my weight loss post is negative. You are a joy killer, and I hate that so much. And I meant it. I was actually really upset. She said, I am not. You are showing off a fucking excuse me, you were showing off a disorder eating fucking pizza, dude. Don't tell people that's a cheat meal. First of all, cheat meals are a thing. Like that's a thing. I understand there's a lot of toxic diets out there, and there's a lot of people that promote toxic diets and habits. I get that. I try not to do that. I do what I think works for me. So, first, like right off the bat, I just think that this is totally out of pocket for her to tell me. She said, I'm happy you lost weight and feel better, but don't be an asshole. Don't know how I was being an asshole. I don't know how, genuinely. Could someone enlighten me? Because it's not like I was pushing anything onto anybody. I was just talking about my personal experience. And it seems like more people are inspired by what I'm doing versus people like this who are, let's be real, haters. So she said, eat food. You promote starving. This is the line that really got me. And there's a reason why, and I'll tell you why in a bit, as I progress into this video. She said, "You are the same people who promote thinspiration." Never even heard of that, honestly. So I learned that from her, which is interesting. And then she got really aggressive, and she said, "Block me if you don't like it." I said, I was just taken aback by her hostility, honestly. So I said, "It is not that simple, and you acting like that is crazy." She said, I have people who do fasting for their religion, and I get it. You use it to starve. And I said, oh my God, you are delusional. Which I still stand by that statement. I think she was 100% delusional. And then she said, Kay, delete me. I didn't screenshot the rest of the combo because it was only like two more messages. One with me basically responding saying, I don't want to delete you because I want to talk about this. And then she said, fine, I'll do it for you. So she ended up removing me, blocking me, whatever. Good riddance. And it really hurt me because for one, this is somebody who I did really consider a friend, somebody who, like I said, we've talked about serious politics with one another. We've been on like video calls with each other. We've drank together, smoked together. We've shared art with one another. I actually felt somewhat of a connection with this person. So for her to treat me that way was really unfair in my opinion. And whenever she needed something, I was always there. Whenever she needed help, figuring out stuff for her art, I would try my best to give her advice and tips and all that kind of stuff. So for her to do that, it just felt like a stab in the heart. So now, with that being said, I don't want to hyper focus too much on that. I want to talk about this post and just some stuff about intermittent fasting. I'm not here, like I said, to have a debate about intermittent fasting. I know that it's not for everybody, and I don't promote it to people because I know that it's not for everybody, and it's a very, very touchy subject for a lot of people. A lot of people, when I tell them that I'm doing it, they look at me crazy, and that's fine. That is totally fine. I have no issues with that. I'm not offended by that. Like I understand it's not a normal thing, but a lot of times normal doesn't get results. Sometimes you have to go that extra mile. And I'm not here to talk all that influencer stuff. I'm not here for that. I just want to share my experience. So, um, regarding the intermittent fasting, so there are a lot of benefits for intermittent fasting, including better insulin resistance. And that one was really important to me. And the reason for that was because when I started doing this in January, the whole reason why I even started doing this was because in January, I started feeling some pain in my legs and a little bit of numbness as well. I had trouble sleeping. I had some pain in my foot too. Walking was hard. It was difficult. I weighed over 300 pounds, and it was just life was miserable for me. Um, and I got laid off from my job last year in September. It was through no fault of my own, but I basically lost my insurance. So I had money, but I was using that towards bills and stuff. So I didn't really have enough money to be going to doctors constantly in the hospital because I really thought something bad was happening. And I started, you know how it goes whenever you get worried about health stuff. You start going online, you do a little Googling, you think you have every single disease in the book, and that's pretty much what happened to me. And I started thinking, oh no, please don't tell me I have type 2 diabetes. Because keep in mind, last year and for years, my diet consisted of hardly any water, fast food, ultra processed foods on a near daily basis, cans and cans of soda. I can't tell you how many packs of soda I would go through um, each week. It was insane. So type 2 diabetes was a real possibility. I was stage 3 morbidly obese, and I was feeling that pain and numbness in my leg, and it scared the shit out of me. So I started doing research on like what I can do for this, home remedies, because I didn't want to go to the doctor. I came across the keto diet or low carb, and I started watching videos on YouTube because I was convinced I had type 2 diabetes. So I was freaking out. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, what can I do to reverse this? So I was looking at stuff online, and I came across the keto diet, and people were and I was it gave me some hope. It gave me something to look forward to, like maybe, hey, maybe I can actually recover from this. So, long story short, I'm saving that info. I'm going to save all that for another video when I do the full recap of how this year has gone, because it is interesting stuff. But basically, I was afraid that I had type 2 diabetes, and I thought that if I eat, if I do a low carb diet and do some intermittent fasting, maybe I could bring my insulin levels down to the point where I don't have it anymore, Spoiler alert, months later, I ended up getting checked for it. My A1C was normal, so I didn't have type 2 diabetes, which is awesome. So, praise be for that. But I was already locked in at that point. So I was like, why do anything different? I'm already losing weight. By that point, I was already down like 50 pounds. So I'm like, all right, let's just keep going. So I just kept going and going and going. And then, fast forward to now, I'm down 80 pounds, which is awesome. 80 pounds in about 10 and a half months, which is great. Um, and I'm so grateful. So, uh, I've been going to the gym more too. I still eat full meals. I still do intermittent fasting from time to time as well, but I'm not as crazy as with it as I was previously, because I know I can relax a bit more now. I'm really far ahead now, so I can afford to relax a little bit, which is good. Been lifting, doing a lot of stuff. I feel great physically. Um, so you know it works for me personally, and I've seen results from it, and so have you. You guys have seen my progress, for those that are tapped in, and it works for me. I know it might not work for her, it might not work for other people. That is totally fine. The other thing too is that the intermittent fasting helps with remaining in a caloric deficit. I found, because you're not really eating, so obviously, right? So that's really good. That in my book, that's positive. And with that, the other thing too is when you're fasting, you have to do it the right way. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen like stories and stuff about how people will do fasting for a day or two, and then what do they eat when they break the fast? Junk food, which is not good. Not good at all. It creates overfullness. A lot of times it can cause diarrhea. You feel sick. It's not good to break a fast with junk food and ultra processed, salty, sugary foods. So it's important to note that when I would do the fasting, I would usually break it with something healthy, a high fiber, high protein meal. So your chicken, spinach, fruits, broccoli, salmon, whatever. You get the point. So, and that's helped me maintain the weight loss. So, or excuse me, that's helped me lose the weight and maintain it as well. So, I mean, for me, I've seen nothing but benefits from it, which is awesome. I don't like the notion that I am promoting starvation, because I think that's why I mentioned in the message that it's way deeper than just promoting starvation and the inspiration. Such nonsense. But I digress. So that's a little bit about the intermittent fasting and how it's helped me personally. And like I said, I don't plan on stopping, so I'm going to keep going. And then one more thing I wanted to bring up, and that's back to this post. So on this post, I wanted to clarify about the whole cheat day and the work it off thing. You guys already know what this means. Most of you have common sense. You already know what these terms mean. It's not supposed to be anything negative or toxic, like she implied. Um, Now, when I said I'm normally not a fan of the cheat day or I earn this mentality, what I meant by that was I don't have enough discipline to do cheat days frequently. I don't do them very often. And the reason is because, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. Um, so many years ago, about 8 years ago, for those that knew me at that time, you knew that I was doing my juicing and exercise, and I was eating right too. And I lost a lot of weight doing that. Well, I was so excited for the cheat day to come, and I was looking forward to it, and I was going to crash out. And you know what ended up happening? I went to Subway. got a steak and cheese sub. I got a bag of Sun Chips and water. I wasn't drinking soda then, so I was fine with water. But yeah, I basically ate that and I felt amazing. It was heaven on earth. It- that was the last day of my diet, basically. I fell off the wagon and for 8 years, I gained all the weight back and even more so than before. So, because that one cheat day turned into two cheat days. Oh, I can do 2 days. Okay, I can do 3 days and work it off. I can do 4 days. Da, 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 and those days turn into weeks, then to months, and then suddenly you're done. So, I know myself personally. I know I don't have enough discipline to handle cheat days a lot of times. I'm a lot more disciplined now, so I can handle them better now. But knowing what I went through back then and how scary it is to think about falling off the wagon after all the work I've done this year, it scares me. So for me personally, I try to get that mentality out of my mind of a whole cheat day. And I earn this mentality. I I understand why people say this. I do. The only thing about that though is when it comes to the I earn this mentality, you start to justify bad behavior, in my opinion, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. So with the I earn this mentality, what ends up happening is you go, especially if you're like a beginner in this whole thing. What ends up happening is you end up eating well for just a little bit of time, and you get a little bit too overly confident, and then you think to yourself, "Oh, I went 2, 3 days without eating poorly, so I earned this pizza, and that's not enough time, in my opinion, for you to be able to get that cheat day. Opinions differ on this. I understand completely, um, but that's kind of how I'm approaching this. So this is all again my personal experience. I'm not trying to clown on or shit on anybody that disagrees. If whatever you're doing, if it works for you, good. This just happens to work for me. So I'd like to just put that out there. Okay. Um, so yeah, guys, there's a lot to this, and I kind of wanted to just talk about that, like I said, because it was bothering me big time. Um, oh, one more thing. The other reason why I didn't appreciate the accusation of me promoting starvation is because I've actually been dealing with recently. Actually, I've been doing really well physically. Mentally, it's been a little bit tough. I've been dealing with a little bit of body dysmorphia, and it's hard to deal with. So that's why people around me tell me, "Oh, you look great. Oh, don't worry." Da, 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 da. But a lot of times you don't see it. You're your own worst critic, your own worst enemy. So I'm working on it though. I stopped because before I would check the scale on a daily basis, multiple times a day. I would look at old progress photos of myself to look for flaws, and I would think to myself, "Oh God, I still look the same as I did, before I started this." And even though deep down I knew it wasn't true. So I'm working on that. I'm getting better at it. I do plan on seeing somebody for that very soon, actually. But for the past month or so, I've stopped checking the scale every day. I'm checking it now on a weekly basis. It's actually helped me tremendously mentally. So I'm trying to lock in. I'm trying to do things the right way, and hopefully I can hit that 100-pound milestone by the end of the year. So with that being said, guys, that's about it. That's all I really wanted to come on here and say. I really appreciate you guys if you made it this far. Keep wishing me luck. Keep doing your thing. If you're on your own journey, I'm rooting for you. Let's do this together. So I'm excited, and don't let anybody bring you down. Don't let anybody tell you that what you're doing is wrong. Obviously, try to be safe. Do things the right way, but don't let anybody bring you down. Don't listen to other people. If they tell you that you're not normal or that you're weird, good. Don't be normal. Be weird. That's what gets you good results. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm Joel Brown, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.